All right, here we go. Take it away, Stevie.
Yeah. Everybody, welcome to our bi-weekly network acceleration roundtable. So incredibly happy, honored, enthusiastic. Just really excited to be here with you guys and all of our wonderful guest panelists today. This is going to be a very exciting event where we're going to have the opportunity to connect, share stories, hear more about how we're showing up, how we can better support each other, how we can collaborate, how we can have this wonderful exchange of synergy. So I first and foremost, thank you so much and welcome. And we really do appreciate your time. So we're going to kick things off now with our roundtable, you guys, for this week. And if you guys are catching this recording somewhere, thanks so much for watching again. Love to have you a part of our network acceleration event, because that's the whole thing. The network is the net worth, and I'm sure we all have heard that to some certain degree. We can do things so much more faster and with more passion, more energy, and the energy that we need in order to cultivate the change that we wish to be in the world. And what a better way than to connect that together. Nothing but sisters here today, which is always a very fun time. So I'm incredibly excited. So we're going to have Miss Amy. She's going to kick us off today. We have three rounds that we're going to be going through. And this first round is going to be our lightning round. So I'm going to let Miss Amy go ahead. She's going to take it away and let's kick it off.
Awesome. Welcome. I am so elated to have all of you beautiful queens here, where you're going to get a chance to show your powerhouse leadership and get to stand in your glory with all of these other movers and shakers. And so we're going to get started just based on how you're on my screen. That's the easiest way for my eyes to go. Miss Michelle, we would love for you to share with us your name, your title, and your location. And you basically get 30 seconds, but if you go to 60, I'm not mad. It's time for you to shine, girl. Go.
Awesome. It's so great to be here with all of you. I love to meet you. Oh, it's Michelle, the other Michelle. It's going to go, right? Okay, usually I'm the only Michelle in there. Michelle, would you please tell us where you are, who you are, what your title is, and give us your lightning round.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Michelle Thames. I'm located in Chicago, Illinois, and I am a marketing strategist, coach, podcaster, a host of different things. So that is who I am.
And tell me, come on, girl, you got more than that. This is your spotlight. You're on stage. Show me who you are. Let me feel who you are.
Well, my podcast, Social Media Decoded, is one of the top marketing podcasts. I did over 400 episodes. So that's something about me.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Miss Michelle. You're going to get lots of time to tell us more. Miss Suhaiba, girl, it's your turn. Let's go.
All right. Suhaiba Neill. I am in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I'm a native, born and raised, and I am an author and a speaker and a consultant, a certified behavioral assessment specialist, and I also manage our family painting company. So busy
Your
bee.
Family
painting company. So my father started a residential painting company almost 50 years ago now, and I've been managing it for the last 20.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility, girl. I hope your shoulders are tired. Awesome. Miss Tammy, excited to hear from you today.
Well, thank you. It's so good to be here. I am an author, an international speaker. I've authored multiple books, and I'm an intuitive, so I can actually read the room. So what I do is identify what is keeping you stuck in the subconscious that you don't even know you have. And then once that is revealed, the puzzle of your life comes together, and then you get free and you create miracles.
Ooh, wee, that sounds yummy. I love it. I love it.
It's fun.
Awesome stuff. Welcome, Tammy. All righty, Miss Jennifer, let us know who you are, darling, where you're from, and what you do.
Hey, I'm Jennifer Conaway. I'm from Durham, North Carolina right now. That's where I'm from. I'm an intuitive business strategist and love working with heart-led entrepreneurs that have a team going and are just ready to reach their next level of growth.
That is epic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness, this room is full of powerful queens showing their prowess. How does it feel? Let me know in the chat how you guys are feeling. What's that energy level for you in this moment? Yeah, because it's about to go even higher. I'm so excited. So round two, Michelle, if you wouldn't mind dropping in our round two questions, we're going to go around and share your passion-driven purpose, your mind-blowing solutions that you offer to the world, and the secret sauce that sets you apart. And so you're going to get 5 minutes. And this, my loves, is going to be a space that I want you to simply be you. That's all that we're asking from you, and can't wait to see what we get today. So Miss Michelle Thames, girl, spotlight's on you. Let's go.
Yes, no, I'm really excited to be here. So my passion is actually, I used to work in healthcare administration. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in healthcare administration, but in 2016, I was unfortunately and fortunately fired from my job, which pushed me into my passion. I had already started a blog on the side as a natural hair blogger, content creator. And so I just decided, you know what? This is a eye-opening moment where I can really bet on myself. And so that's what I did. And so I was fired from my job, but I utilize social media to help get myself visible. So that's my whole purpose. I help women entrepreneurs to leverage social media and digital marketing to get their name out there, to get their mission out there. I have been on social media for the last 16 years. I started off in the beauty space. I was able to work with some of the top brands like Toyota, Culver's, Wisconsin Dells as a creative and an influencer. And in 2016, like I said, I was fired from my job, which pushed me to just more into my passions. Then I got the opportunity to work for a startup beauty brand, Neill Organics. And so I helped them to build their digital foundation. So that was my way to really get into the marketing world without even a marketing degree. So I don't have a marketing degree. It's all self-taught. And that's what really my passion is. I know there's a lot of women who have online businesses, who have amazing things that they're doing, but they can't get it out to the world. And they're afraid of social media too, because it does seem like it's such a lot. I know marketing can be a lot, but my secret sauce is I help you to understand marketing simple and effective ways. Like I said, I have a podcast, Social Media Decoded. It is one of the top marketing podcasts. And I have over 400 episodes, and I break down in easy steps to help you really understand social media better. I've used social media for everything from networking to opportunities to, I've used it for everything, and it really has changed my life. So that's why I'm super passionate about it and super passionate about helping other women just understand it better. So that's a little bit more about me and my passion. And I really do believe that social media, it doesn't have to be something that's so hard to understand or something that is always, thorn in our sides. Because if we don't market our businesses, the truth is that nobody will know about us. And word of mouth can definitely dry up. And if you do not network and if you do not use social media in these times, I feel that you are going to be left behind. So that's the message that I'm preaching to all women, to not be scared of social media. We can definitely use it to our benefit and to get our voices and our missions out there.
Look at you, Michelle. Everybody celebrate Michelle. Look at all that action she's showing up in the world. Look at you,
I want
girl.
to add to Michelle really quick, if you don't mind, Amy, but I believe that the algorithms are divine.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, the algorithms are not working against us. Why on earth would they do that? Right? So
No,
good.
I believe that.
That's
here.
awesome. Yeah. Cool.
I've got
Michelle,
some
where
amazing
are you in the world?
opportunities. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Michelle, where are you in the world again? I missed that part.
I'm in Chicago.
Chicago. I was just in Chicago, actually, like last week.
It's a beautiful place. it's Lollapalooza, so I wouldn't suggest going anywhere near Chicago. It's Lollapalooza, and there's another festival going on at the same time. But yes, it's a beautiful place. In the summertime, you cannot beat it. And I'm sorry, we have the best skyline. I've been to a lot of different places, and there is no better skyline. The way it's constructed, the way everything about it is just magical. And so, yeah, we have that. No one else. I've been to a lot of places. It's world, and no one else has a skyline like Chicago.
Look at her
love
selling
it.
conviction. Look how confident she is in her like sales is a lifestyle. Hey,
Amen.
I love that. I
Amen.
want to go check it out. I want to see the skyline now.
Well,
Good.
definitely. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing who you are. I'm so excited. And for those that are watching the recording later, in the chat down below, if you love what Michelle said, and when you hear what all these other queens say, you're excited about it. You're like, oh my gosh, there's total connections there. There's alignment. Make sure that you hit #connect and then get at Michelle's name so that she knows that you're seeking out to her. Because just like getting out on social media is huge marketing, networking is currency. This is where we do what we do. So as you listen to all of these other queens, do not hesitate to connect with these beautiful women. And we are ready to hear from Suhaiba. Girl, it's your turn. Let's go. Spotlight on you.
Thank you. And I might have a small challenge, Michelle, because I live in Philadelphia and we have a very amazing skyline as well, with the Ben Franklin Bridge in the background. So, but I have been to Chicago, and the Magnificent Mile is pretty cool. So I learned a new word not too long ago from another fellow female entrepreneur, multi-hyphenate, which is, I guess, what I am now, because I got a lot of things going on all at the same time. But what I'm most excited about right now and brings me to the table is I published a book on leadership for women last year and discovered how horrible the stats still are and how much of a need there still is to educate and empower and encourage young girls in particular. So my daughter was my inspiration to finish it. She is starting her junior year of college at the end of the month, which is crazy, but time flies. And I always like to tease and tell people that I'm much older than I look because they don't usually believe me if I say I have a 19-year-old. So now that's my goal, is to get into high schools and colleges and speak to young women at the start of their leadership journeys so that they can really have the confidence and the courage and find that authentic. My word is authenticity. So everything I do, I come to with as much authenticity as I can. I tease, like, everybody has a bad day every now and again. You might catch me on a, off moment, but for the most part, when I show up, you're getting the real me. And it also just makes it easier to live your life because you're being yourself and being authentic and living in your true kind of place and purpose in the world. So my big goal for this year is to get into as many local high schools and colleges as I can and speak to women in particular, but also mixed audiences, because I think men need that awareness as well so they can help and be allies and understand the challenges we face. And the secret sauce is I literally lived it. It is like actually the story of my life. I grew up with all brothers. Like I said, I'm from Philly, super sports town, super big sports family, played sports every season all the way through high school, worked in all male dominated industries up until now. And I tease that the happy accident of writing a book on leadership for women is now I have all these fabulous circles of women that I never had before. So all through my 20s and 30s and halfway through my 40s, it was men. And it was fine because that's what I knew and I was used to it. And I was confident enough most of the time to just be myself. But now, 47, happy to announce it, I'm not ashamed to share, and have all of these smaller groups of women that I've connected with since publishing the book and sharing my story that has just taken things to a whole nother level for me. And so really excited about the journey, what's to come. And like I said, really empowering women at the start, as opposed to taking 3 decades potentially to learn all the lessons I learned. I tease my daughter, I said, some lessons you do have to learn on your own. Other ones, really not so much. Like I could tell you a thing or two if you actually want to listen. So that's the goal for this year and moving forward, is to share my story, empower as many young women. And the book is for women on the rise. I feel like we should continuously be evolving and getting better and, reaching for new heights. So it's really for everyone. And it's also is for men who would like to see things from a different perspective. So my coach, my current coach, I've had a lot over the years, both on and off the court, is the guy. And he asked me at the beginning, "Are you like feel weird about alienating half the population if the book is for women?" I'm like, yeah, no. He said, "How many books have been written by men for men over the last 100 years?" They said, it's just a female perspective. Leadership is leadership. The lessons are the lessons. They're applicable to everyone. But I think what people miss is the challenge is very, very different as a woman than it is as a man. And if you're in a male dominated space or male dominated industry, are the only woman at the table, it just elevates that challenge. So,
well, and I love what you're doing, but if I can ask, dropping, the book and giving them a place to start and then talking to them face to face and sharing your energy and your story is a phenomenal place to start. How do they take that moment and then implement it? How do you teach them taking it further than that simple moment? Because so many times people jump back into life and they forget the amazingness that they felt in your presence and don't know how to necessarily move forward. Can you share a little bit of that with us? Do you have that, or is that
I
part
do.
of
It is not all done yet, but it's in process. I'm a big planner. Both my parents were teachers, so there will be a workbook that everybody gets that goes with the talk to kind of give you some things to work on. And I also tell people sometimes, like, the first chapter of my book is about being fearless, and I say that we all have a big audacious goal, and we may or may not have shared it with anybody. It's really just for us. So don't tell the whole world, but write down what it is, figure out what your why is, and here are some action steps. The other thing I'm really good at is consistency and accountability. So one of the things I'm working on is creating kind of a little accountability group, and either it's an email or you just sign up, and every so often you're going to get a little email from me reminding you, checking in how you doing, or actually joining a full-on accountability group to get something done and having the support that you need to do it. So.
Ooh, everybody celebrate Suhaiba. This girl is showing up and she has a bigger plan than just where she is. That is epic. Celebrations to you, beautiful lady. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Miss Tammy, it's your turn, my dear, to shine.
Thank you. What I do is help people to come home to who they are. Every single person came in and have all these supernatural experiences. When I was 11 years old, something happened to me overnight. And when I woke up the next morning, I was not the same little girl. I didn't like the same friends. I didn't like the same food. I didn't like the same colors, the same clothes. Every single thing in my life had transitioned and all of my senses opened up. So I started communicating with the physical and the non-physical and hearing the kids' thoughts and knowing what was going on in their homes. And I'm just this freak in the room. And I learned through a process of just playing with kids on the playground and talking to them that it wasn't exactly safe for me to share what my abilities were. So I learned to pull in and hide and conceal and not feel. And what I have found is that most people are hiding some of their best attributes and their best features and their best superpowers. And so I've had so many clients that I've worked with over the years doing deep transformative experiences where they're not the same people. Their husbands and their wives change and their jobs change and their careers change and they get promotions and they do all these things. And I've been teaching how to use their sensory superpowers without really thinking about it. And then I started because of my free gift on my website, which is now changed. I would say you can ask me one question, and as you're intuitive, I'll give it to you. Every single person was asking me, what is my ability? What is my spiritual gift? What is it that I came here to do? What is my life mission? And believe it or not, it's tied to the 5 senses, to seeing. And it's not just seeing in the physical, but seeing in the non-physical and the clairs that are associated with those 5 senses. So I actually just wrote a book, a course. There's a quiz that's free where you can find out what your dominant superpowers are in the senses. Once you realize who you really are, how you communicate with the world, how you process things, why you're visually oriented, or whether or not it's about scent. And scent could even be, I smell a rat. It could be all of these clairs, the clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairscent, clairgustance, which is tasting, and clairsentience, which really is your inner guidance system. once you really recognize that you are so much more than just this physical body or a business or an expert in a certain field, but you're a spiritual being and you awaken those, you're off on a totally different path to supernatural things just happening in your lives. And then what I found is that by identifying this for people, and I'll share my book in just a second, is that they can engage. They're becoming much more successful. They're able to hear things that the people aren't saying. Imagine having all of these clients and you reach them and engage them. That's why my return rate on my clients is 98%, because I see them, I hear them, I sense them, I know what it is they're wanting to know. So I wrote this book called Superpowers Unleashed: Identify and Monetize Your Senses. There's a companion journal, there's a course, there's all these things to help you activate that. Now I have a funny story, because I have a lady that is really helping me to do LinkedIn and all these different things and promotions. And she was talking to me and she said, I got to tell you something. I've just got to tell you that I was on the plane the other day and I wondered, is this that supernatural sense? Am I really clairsentient? And I didn't know it. And I said, you're reading the book, aren't you? And she said, yes. And I said, and that is what is happening to everybody that reads this book, is that we are so much more than this little limited physicalness of ourselves. And now I help people to fly their freak flags and just come out of hiding and just be all that you are. And let's just start using what we innately chose to come here and experience. And my passion is, like I said, helping people come home to that. It's time for us to come home to who we really are, and therefore we accomplish and we fulfill our lives. And then guess what? You start having everything you dreamed of and then some coming into play.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that is so epic. I cannot wait.
The
for more and
badassery
more
is
and
strong
more.
today in the networking group accelerator.
I was going to say, if you weren't prepared for this, you better get a seat because we're not done yet. This is so phenomenal, ladies. Wow, wow, and wow. Take a deep breath and let that one just sit in that space. I love it. Miss Jennifer, are you ready, beautiful, to share your amazingness so that we get to know more about you?
Sure. So I call the title I use for myself is intuitive business strategist, because I think that just like Tammy said, and even Suhaiba and Michelle kind of leaned that way a little bit, is that our intuition and what we're feeling makes such a huge difference in everything we do. And my path kind of started with a Fortune 100, where I was that square peg they were trying to cram into a round hole. But you know, the beautiful thing about that is that it taught me the value of numbers and data and analytics. You know, all the things I went through high school and I was like, no,
I don't want
never going to use that, you know. And I really learned the power, because just by presenting the right numbers to the right people, I could actually shift the way the business was moving. And that's a power I didn't think existed. So that led me to, when I got tired of being that square peg, I went out and did some things on my own for a little bit, which eventually led me to work with one of the top online personal development marketers in the country. And it was an absolutely amazing experience. I got to run her entire mastermind, which was like running a business within a business. So I got to build the strategy in there. I got to work with entrepreneurs, some who had grown, built, and then sold multi-million-dollar businesses. Others, you know, their business was written on the napkin they got at the bar that evening, you know. And then there, you know, is this whole gamut from super spiritual to somebody that can't even say the word. But it gave me such a depth of experience. And working with that business in a box, it became really obvious to me that not everybody fits in that box, right? All these universal, connected with the universe, intuitive, Claire, all those things Tammy is talking about, just don't fit into that box. And I finally got to the point where I couldn't stay in integrity and not help them color outside the lines, you know? So that's when I left to do my own thing, because traditional business methods have their place. They really have their place. And then the other side of that is the beautiful, intuitive, sentient, connected part of you has its place. And I like to say that I bring your magic and strategy together to blend the 3D world and what we've got going on here that we know works with all of the 5D and all of our senses, so that you can really create a conscious, connected strategy that feels really good to you, and that everybody around you will really start to resonate with it. It's such an amazing thing. It's a really fun journey to go with people on that next level of growth and really create that engagement. I do a whole intuitive strategy engagement where we spend about 4 to 6 weeks working through from, you know, really, really explain to me, give me the taste, the feel, the what you want to be doing, who you want to be talking with. Really let me, what does that next growth really look like for you? And the beautiful piece about that is once they start to explain that, I can see kind of the next level and the next level. And it gives me that fun opportunity to kind of like push their boundaries a little bit, color outside of their box a little bit. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, and then we work through and I will create a business strategy for them based on what's working for them, what's not working for them. And if they're not already doing it, actually integrating some of the spiritual values that they carry around with them and that they're using every day in their business, they're just not necessarily talking about.
Well, I love it. I love it. I love it. That is so epic, Jennifer. Isn't it interesting how we have so much diversity in this room, but yet it's so aligned with very similar things. Everybody celebrate Jennifer for how she shows up in this world. Great stuff, girl. I love it. Love it. Love it. Now, we cannot forget, we have some pretty profound queens in this room as well that set up this space, that get to work alongside me, and I am very blessed by their presence. But Michelle Boshard, my dear, if you wouldn't mind giving us a 3-minute rundown of your power and your prowess, we'd love to hear it.
Aw, thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. You can see why I love working with Amy and Stevie. Like, wait till you hear Stevie stuff. But all of you are just profound beings bringing your gifts to the world, and I just really appreciate being able to connect with you here. I am a digital doula. I call myself the natural entrepreneur, and that means that I help people take those gifts and craft their online offers and create the tech to support them. So frequently I do that by helping people. I have a TV show called the Natural Success Clinic, where we do offer ecosystem assessments. I'm a biologist by formal training, and my mom was a nature artist, and you'll most often catch me out in the forest, home. But I love, I got to get away from the tech somehow, but I love to sit with people and figure out, okay, what's your Costco sample freebie? What's your low ticket, medium ticket, high ticket offer? How do they work together as an ecosystem? Because I really feel like the business world, and all of you are perfect examples of that, where the business world has been a monoculture. It has been de-diversified just as much the way the physical environment has. And each of us bringing our individual gifts has re-diversified the business world, the business ecosystem. And so I love to work with people to make sure their business ecosystem is functioning well, that it's well supported, that they get to bring their gifts and not worry about the admin stuff. So I automate things, I build sales funnels, I do affiliate programs and subscription communities and build the tech around their offer so that it's easy for us to spread these gifts, because we need to bring the joy. We need to bring the chutzpah back to business. And I feel like that's the feminine rising that you each represent. And so why I do this, I'm a mama of 2 wonderful kids. My eldest son, my daughter is 16 going on 31, but my eldest son is 19 and he's on the autism spectrum, and he's unable to speak and he self-injures and has had a really, really tough time. Our family journey took us to the place where I had to coordinate all of his care. The systems failed him. And I had a company that was helping other parents, and it wasn't breaking even. It was great for the parents, great for the workers, great for the kids, and it wasn't functioning as a business. But I was not going to let it be easier to order a pizza from to your house than to get care, proper qualified care to your house. And so I went on a mama bird search for the bake sale, the thing that was going to fundraise to be able to help subsidize the care. And so my digital marketing enterprise goal is to subsidize respite and homeschool delivery for families with autism. So I'm a social purpose entrepreneur. And I love just, I found my gifts. I learned from my son that even though you can't sometimes get it out, you can, you have things inside of you to share. So I love that piece about helping people dig into their purpose and find themselves, package it up and present it online in an easy way to get their business off the ground. So that's what I do. And I'm very grateful to be here with each of you as shining examples of people who have done the work to do that. So woohoo.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. And don't forget, even in the room, anybody that's watching, make sure if you want to connect, once we get this posted in the recording, go into that chat, because the chat that's in the room here does not convey, unfortunately, but we want to make sure that you ladies that are in this room, as well as anybody that's watching afterwards, takes advantage of these amazing and priceless connections. But before we roll into my prowess, I want Stevie Marie to hold the stage and show up as the queen that she is. She's savage, she slays, and her name says it all. So
Yes, well, thank you. And yeah, you know, my mother did name me after Stevie Nicks. It would have either been Stephen or Stevie Marie. And for some reason, I've adapted both names as an adult, though the boys do call me Stephen. So I'm a beautiful mix of, you know, this masculine energy and this feminine essence and the overall embodiment of just humanness. So first and foremost, thank you so much for giving me some time to share myself with you. I'm honored to be here. There's some powerful energy in this container, and I love how you guys are showing up, and I'm just really honored to be connected. I don't believe in coincidences. I think that we're all supposed to connect with each other at the exact perfect divine timed moment on whatever that might look like for us. So massive gratitude, and thank you so much for everybody's time. So I guess a little bit about me, going off my passion driven purpose and the solutions and all this kind of stuff. Long story short, I have 20 years of experience in sales and leadership development. I had my first daughter at 17 years old. I have a grade 9 education. My second daughter at 19, my third son at 30, and 2 failed marriages. I'm 37 years old and my eldest daughter is 20. So, you know, I actually got started in sales because it was the only thing that I was qualified to do. I wanted something that would honor flexibility and do all these kinds of things. So I've literally done everything: door-to-door network marketing, direct sales. I've been coaching full-time for 5 years. The vehicle that I identify myself with is with high performance coaching. I do focus on energetics and fundamentals, and I'm really big into branding. I want the yummy, yummy vibes, because we really are here to captivate attention, hold attention. And if we're ever so lucky and gracious, we can convert that intention or that attention into helping and serving the people that we're supposed to be serving. So really working a lot of spirituality within my coaching as well. But yeah, literally have done it all. Done it all, sold cars for Chrysler Canada for a decade or so. So yeah, I've been online now for quite some time. My passion driven purpose, I believe it's our responsibility as new age leaders and digital leaders and entrepreneurs to come together, utilize spaces like this, which is why I'm alongside and creating something with Amy and Michelle, because I believe in community. I believe it is our responsibility to connect, collaborate, push that ego to the side. How can we support each other here for the bigger picture of healing humanity, cultivating change, and bringing people back to source energy? How do we do that together? So I believe that is our responsibility in order to do so. My brand is called the Redesigned Empire. I focus on mindset development, marketing and sales strategies, and of course, influence and leadership. We all know this is an inside game. We all know that we have to redesign our own internal ecosystem before we can redesign anything outside of that. So my current offer that's pretty exciting is that coaching is a really, really powerful, profound vehicle. I've coached over 1,500 people in the last 5 years at all sorts of different levels. People need it. Community is everything. People can change their lives if somebody just believes in them. That's a genuine connection, instead of being like, oh, I have to believe in you type thing, right? And just providing an ecosystem that allows for that to be very affordable, because there's something about the coaching industry to a certain degree that does bother me. Most people do not have 30 grand to invest into coaching. They sure would benefit from it. And there's a lot of people that just can't invest that blindly because the foundation of trust, surrendering, and belief is just not quite developed yet. So anyway, lots of things going on. I'm rambling. I can talk forever, but I don't believe in the niche. I'm a servant of the divine, and however that flows through me, I'm all here for it. So thank you.
I love it. Stevie, everybody celebrates Stevie and Michelle. Both of these queens are up in Canada. And so they are definitely connected to this North American continent in ways that they may not want to be, but they are. So we're excited to have them here. And then I would love to take a couple of moments to share a little bit more about me and myself and what brings me into this space. I am very much so a multifaceted individual. I have lived a plethora. A book is never enough. I would have to write 11 or so to finally encapsulate my journey. I absolutely, more than anything else, love humanity. I believe, as you see in my Zoom title, my given name at birth was Amy, and I know that there is a reason why changing those letters around stand for I am. I believe that is the most powerful sentence in our human existence, whether it's this universe or another that we have held, but our being is overlooked. It's all about the focusing of doing, which is absolutely necessary to get change and to be different than where we're at. However, when it's not done in the proper priority or focus, we miss out on so much. I work with my youngest clients are all the way down at 7 years old. I do emotional intelligence and personal awareness and empowering our youth. So I absolutely love, Suhaiba, the space that you hold there. I have 8 beautiful children of my own and 10 grandchildren. I will be 40, or I'm 49 this year. I'll be 50 next year. But I love that space, that very, very powerful space. And then the fun part is that my oldest client passed away last year at 101. And the space that she held for me wasn't so much that she didn't have the perseverance to push through, because very clearly she was still here at that age, but the joy of tapping into her being. Why in the world is she even here? Why in the world is 101 necessary? Why am I in this space? And so that's very powerful. I really love to tap into and go into personal discovery for people to gain their passion and their purpose in this life, first and foremost. And then from there, I take them into a discovery of the infinite potential and power that's inside of them, very similar to what a couple of you have shared. And then the third level of where I take them in that design is to really, truly thrive by mastering energies and vibrations and getting that freedom and flow of their being in the effortless way. Not a way that is forced, not a way that is the checking of the boxes of society, but in a truly effortless way that's tied into all of those very elements. And I use 5 beautiful sciences behind that: the physical sciences, mental sciences, emotional sciences, spiritual sciences, and energetic sciences. I love the neurosciences. They are a phenomenal place to be, and it unleashes so much that's not being touched because this life isn't meant to be hard. It's meant to be simple and profound, and connection is key. And that is why I'm such a believer of this space, because in each of every element that we each hold space for, sitting next to another queen that either we can joint venture with, align with, support one another with, build up, celebrate, whatever is required, there's not enough of it. And so that is why I take my time, dedication, passion, and commitment to hold space for you queens, as well as the queens that I get to work with, and elevate humanity on levels that are long overdue. So I'm excited to have you each here in this space. And round 3 is going to get turned over to Miss Michelle. She leads our round 3, and I'm going to let her explain what we do there.
Super, super simple. I love simple. I love simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you each to think of a word that describes how you felt about the session today, and anything, parting thoughts you want to share. The oops, I forgot to say this is any in a minute or less, and just tell us. But definitely give us your word and your closing thoughts. And then we will, I'll tell you a bit more about some of the things coming up in the network. So let's start with Michelle. Michelle, can I grab a word to describe how you felt about this connection today?
My word is powerful, because when women come together, we are powerful. I am all about community as well. I have built some amazing communities online. I have my own communities that I do in person too with women entrepreneurs. I do a coffee and conversations in my local neighborhood. This is my 3rd one, and it's sold out. It's free, but being able to bring together women in community, I don't think that we do this enough. I think that there's a lot of competition, but I feel like when we come together and put everything else to the side, we can be powerful. So I think that this was a powerful, powerful time, and I'm just thankful to be here.
Oh, and we are so grateful that you and all of you are in the network group with us and are looking to, develop these really substantive relationships by knowing each other and saying, oh, I know someone who does that. I know that, and we can rely on each other in the way that we used to, and build that sisterhood. So thank you so much for being here, Michelle. Suhaiba, what's your word for what you've experienced today?
My word is inspired. So, and I'm a fellow bio major too, so we share that in common. It's interesting. So as you can see behind me, I love books. I'm a big reader and avid writer, and come from a long line of writers, and always knew I was going to write a book. And like, so somebody asked me like, oh, was that a big, I'm like, no, it was just to do on my checklist. I had to remind myself, and my friends and family had to remind myself to celebrate the accomplishment. But I, in the beginning, didn't understand why this book came through first, because I have a million manuscripts in my file cabinet, and this is the one that came through, finished, hit the publish button, and now I know why. And the more and more I talk to people and interact with other women at different phases and stages in life, the more inspired I am to keep going. And for me, I'm thinking, oh, it's just one little book, but the ripple effect could be huge. And actually, I do have a note in my notebook about the accountability email. So there's an accountability group, but then I also had a little note, should I start a little thing where you can sign up and get, check-in emails for, every couple of days for 12 weeks. And so you guys encouraged me to say yes to that. So now I'll have to get that started, and I'll figure out. But I just find every time I'm one of those people that, like, I had 2 words. So the other one would be alignment. Like the fact that, Stevie Marie said, this isn't an accident that the 7 of us showed up here together at the same time. I feel a lot of alignment in the space. And like, my favorite chapter in my book is called Trust Your Gut. And I tell the guys, I'm like, this one's not for you. Women's intuition is real. Men's intuition is not. Sorry, not sorry. But I also think that's why they try to talk us out of it so much, because they don't have it. So they don't understand how it really works. So
they don't
that's
like
the
it
other
when we're
thing.
right all the time. What can I say? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I actually had a guy tell me that in high school, one of my really good friends. He's like, I really wouldn't mind, but you're right all the time. I'm like, well, why would I speak up if I thought I was wrong? Like, why would I tell you something that I didn't know was accurate? But A lot of people do that. So
Thank you for
um,
breaking into your feminine-led leadership from your male-dominated life. That was really struck me about you, and I really appreciate that, because that is where the world is shifting. So we really appreciate having you here in the group. Thank you, Suhaiba.
thank you for the
Tammy,
invite.
what's your word for today?
I have two, but I will start with wealth, because as I sat and listened to every single one of you, there's such a depth and a measure of who you are, of what you have become an expert in, of the energy and the oomph that is involved in that. And then I automatically start thinking about the bravery of what it cost you to be here, to come out, to actually proclaim, I am this, this is what I do, this is what I offer. What we don't really think very much about is what you paid, what price you paid. And it's something that my clients, the more that they work with me, the more they go, oh my God, now I'm starting to see you. And I'm like, yeah, it cost you a lot to come, to be different, to come out of hiding, to don't go in the status quo and run on those hamster wheels, but to say, no, I am this. And I mean, when I saw your I am, I'm like, oh, I need to know what that, I need to know what she perceives that to be. So you're all so brave. It was such an honor to be in front of you and to see the effervescence. At first I thought, wow, it's effervescent. There's all this stimulus, but then I went, no, it's wealth. And then it's the bravery that I see in you. So thank you for doing everything you did to be here in this juncture, in this space. I know a little bit about that, and I just say kudos to all of you.
Amazing. Wow. And thank you for your gift of helping people come home to themselves. We create our own realities, and the external world is just a mirror, a reflection of what's inside. And so I really appreciated your bringing people back inwards to reflect, because we're always looking outwards when really the gift's inside. So and that it did cost a lot, and it did, and it is valuable, and each of us are valuable. So thank you for sharing that. Jennifer, what's your word?
Have to be like everybody else. I have to. So, and my words are connection and congruence. And I think, it sort of speaks to how there is so much of a connection between not just what the four of us do, but with what the seven of us do. And the intent behind everything that we do is, to help to raise individuals, and by raising individuals, raise the vibration throughout the world. And I think it's a testament, like Tammy said, to all of us to be here, and we need to keep doing it and just do it more, like Michelle said.
Well, thank you for following that calling and your intuitive guidance to business folks, because weaving intuition into business has not been sort of the norm up till now. And I think the shift that's happening needs you. And thank you for being here and being a resource for people in the group. And I do want to remind folks that to connect with Michelle and Suhaiba and Tammy and Jennifer in the comments. But I want to ask my sister hosts here for their words of the day. Let's go with Stevie first.
Your video's breaking up, Michelle.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Oh no, did I lose you? Can you hear me? I'm gonna turn my video off for a sec. Okay, I was asking my beautiful sister hosts for their words. So Stevie Marie, what's yours?
I'm excited. I find these opportunities beautiful, and I'm just really excited for the collective awakening. It's such a cool time to be alive. And then we have the opportunity to use the internet as a tool and to really expand. We all live all over the place where, realistically pre-internet, we wouldn't be able to create this type of outcome so simply. everything can be so much more simplified. And I just, yeah, like very powerful room. This is awesome. I'm excited to connect further with everybody. And yeah, just really excited for
Thank you.
for the love going into everything. Like it's just everything. I'm speechless, I guess. Thank you.
Well, note the date and time, folks, because Stevie is a badass at being able to go on, and she is a badass. And so when a group of women comes in front of us like this, and takes her breath away, it means it was powerful. So thank you, Stevie, for being your badass self, because you truly are. I can't wait for people to get to know you being here in the group. Amy, what's your word for today?
Absolutely. So I think even more than intuition, which is it's a beautiful gift that we each are born with. I'm going to take it to another level and say inner knowing. There is something so much deeper in this room that shows that these women that are here hold a power and an inner knowing that took it from that natural intuition, said, no, I'm going to do something more with it. It's bigger than that. And then I have a second word as well. And I'm going to say courageous perseverance. I absolutely love, Tammy, what you were saying with the bravery, that, we didn't start with a silver platter or a silver spoon in our mouth, not any of us in this room. And I can see that in each one of you. And the beauty is that I can see even bigger than you can even imagine in your eyes, in your passions, in your purposes, in your desires and your drives. And that takes courageous perseverance. We don't just get to sit back. Excuse my French, but the shit doesn't just happen. Okay. We can't just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. And so in this space, we take badass to the next level because you queens aren't here by happenstance. And I am excited to watch you in your journeys and your expansion and letting us know how we can support you and celebrate you. And the magic is real.
Awesome. Yes, the magic is real. Thank you so much, Amy. And I'm just going to, a few words. I'm conscious of your time. We'd like to end on time and appreciate you spending so much of your time and connecting with each other.
What's your word, Michelle?
My word. My word is hope. Because this gives me hope. In the world that we're in, this gives me hope. So that's my word for the day. But I did want to tell you what also gives me hope is some of the stuff that we've got planned here in the group. And so firstly, on behalf of Amy and Stevie and I, we'd like to thank you and extend an invitation to each of you for an additional longer 15-minute focus feature interview for each of you. You should receive after the event another, just a spotlight on you, a link. If you don't, just reach out to Amy or Stevie and I for one of those interview spots, and we will do a deep dive and go into the group, and you can keep that and share it. Would love for you to invite anybody that you think is a fit for this space. That would be a great honor. But we're putting together some things launching in January that we're starting now. So we're building a vault, a subscription space where we can feature each of you in a more and support your businesses in a deeper way. So more access to the group, more access to coaching and training, earning potential through an affiliate program, a number of different pieces. We can tell you all about that later, but watch for that. We'll be dropping information about that into the group in the coming weeks, because I think our first three-way coaching session is going to be on August, I think, 21st. I can't remember, but it's in a couple of weeks, maybe next week, because this week it's next week. Oh my gosh, things are going so fast. So it'll be next week. This time there'll be the first coaching session inside of the subscription community, and we'd love for you all to be there as part of our beta offer. And so feel free to catch up with us about the interview. And for those of you watching, if you would love to be here on the Network Accelerator to showcase your work, or to have a feature interview, come through the Network Accelerator so we can get to know you and feature you. and just love to promote you guys inside of the group and out with the affiliate program we're planning. So thank you so much for being here today. Each of you are absolute badasses. We love you. And yeah, we will catch you next time for sure. Have a great night.